Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. This video is going to be about blowout kit, trauma kit, IFAK, whatever terminology you want to assign to a bag that contains medical equipment to deal with traumatic injuries like gunshot wounds, stab wounds, etc. So the two different ways of getting a bag like this. One is to go through a vendor, whether it's the company who makes this thing or it's just a distributor who is selling someone else's stuff. And you just buy a bag that has the stuff in it. When you do that, depending on what vendor and distributor you're using, the bags can vary from what kind of things they have in them. Generally, they're going to have a tourniquet or some means of stopping bleeding or means to address a bleeding issue. They may have something in there to deal with airway, respiration component stuff. And then there may be some other extra things in there. So some stuff that you buy as a kit can come very minimal, have just some very basic things in there. Other kits may have some more things in there. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is to buy a bag that has nothing in it at all, and then you have your stuff that you've sourced from other places, and then you put it all into the bag yourself. The third way is kind of a hybrid of the two. You buy a bag that has stuff in it already, and then you take some extra stuff that you've got and you add it into that bag. Now, I cannot remember how this one was. I don't think that I bought the bag with stuff in it. I think what I've done is I had a bag that was empty and then I added stuff to it, but I just can't remember very well. I joke and say I have Alzheimer's, but sometimes I don't think it's a joke. But it's about a general purpose size bag. It is a clamshell opening type of bag. So the zipper, you have two zipper pulls right here, and they go down to either side and to the very bottom of the bag. That way you can get a clamshell type of opening. And that is the most preferred type of bag for containing this kind of equipment. That way you can lay it all out there in front of you. It has some pals webbing here on the front, so if you wanted to, you could attach another bag to the front of this, or some little component like that. If you're going to be doing that, you might as well just buy a bag that is about the size of those two bags that you're trying to put together. Generally, what people use the webbing for is to stuff things down into, like I've done here. So I've got two things here. I have EMT shears and a safety cutter. The safety cutter is mainly just for seat belts. It can also be used to cut, lighter clothing, like a t-shirt or something like that, but it's just really meant for cutting seat belts. The EMT shears are made for cutting clothing and can cut thicker clothing as well. It can even cut leather belts and leather pants, things like that. I did a video on this bungee cord right here because my problem with these shears is when I stuffed them down into these webbings, because it was only in these two and because the handles are really big, I had a problem with things just falling out, and I didn't want them falling out. So I created this bungee system right here, and it keeps it retained on there, but when I want them out, all I gotta do is grip on the shears and boom, they come loose. So go check out that video to figure out how I put that together. I have a Rescue Me tool, and it's just clipped to one of the zipper pulls, and you just pop it loose. It has a seatbelt cutter on there, and it also is a window punch, so you can press this thing up against like the side windows of a car and do it at the corner. So if you're going to use one of these things, remember, you always go to the corner of a window. Don't go to the middle of the window, always go to a corner and press that thing in, and that will boom, pop the glass for you and be able to get in there and get access to someone. Another thing. So on the outside of this, I have a headlamp that's just girth hitched to the back right here, so I can easily take it off. I think that headlamps are a necessity for trauma kits. Not everything is going to occur during the day, and not everything is going to occur under great artificial lighting, like a street light or inside a building with lights. You may come across some environments where you don't have any artificial light. Your artificial light may be a street light that is 20 yards away, and it's not really providing a whole lot of light to you. If you have a flashlight, a handheld flashlight, yeah, that can work, but what if you're by yourself? How are you going to hold that light, to shine light down, to show what you're doing, to be able to see what you're doing? Are you going to put it in your armpit, put it between your shoulder and your neck, put it in your mouth, have the patient hold it? Those aren't really good options. The best option is to have a headlamp. You put this on, you turn it on, everywhere you look, you turn your head, you look, there's light shining at where you're looking at. That way you can have hands-free lighting and be able to use both hands to do what you need to do, like putting on tourniquets, applying the chest seals, whatever. It's always best to be doing those things two-handed. That's why we have two hands. Anyway, get you a headlamp and put it with your medical gear. So clamshell opening, right? So boom, pop this thing all the way open. I'm not going to take everything out of here. I'll just take a couple things out. Have another headlamp in there. That way, if there's someone else with you, you can give them that as well. When it comes to trauma gear, this is TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care. So when you are trying to treat a person with gunshot wounds, stab wounds, etc., you need special equipment. You can't take a regular first aid kit and use it on someone with gunshot wounds. You can't take just a regular Band-Aid and put it over a bullet hole. It's not going to work. That person's probably going to die. So you need specialized stuff for that. And this is where these kind of kits come into play. So these kits are just for traumatic injuries. They're not meant for someone who has fallen on the ground and has scraped their arm or got a little cut on their hand. I mean, yeah, you could rip open that compressed gauze and wrap a cut on an arm, and yeah, it's gonna work great. You can tear open the quick clot and pour it on the paper cut, and it's gonna work. But you're also going to be wasting good equipment for something very minimal that could be treated with just a standard boo-boo kit or a standard first aid kit. So it's important to know the difference between those two. You should have a boo-boo kit and a trauma kit. Boo-boo kit is for all the little life things, paper cuts, etc. like that. And then trauma kit is for, the worst days of your life or someone else's life. They've been shot, they've been stabbed, whatever. So, when it comes to TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care, the number one leading cause of death for battlefield type of injuries is massive hemorrhaging. So in this TCCC concept of pre-hospital care, you follow an acronym called MARCH, M-A-R-C-H, and the first letter is massive hemorrhaging. So in this kit, I have quite a few things in here to deal with bleeding. I have two tourniquets. I have a windlass style tourniquet. It's a cat tourniquet. And then I have a TK4 tourniquet, which is it's an elastic style of tourniquet. This is great. This cat tourniquet is great for adults. People of combat age, so to speak, in size. For adult men and women, most women, it works great. But it doesn't work very great for small children or very old adults, geriatrics with very small arms. You just can't get this thing to compress well enough on those small limbs. With a windlass style tourniquet, it's just the saying of it bottoms out, I guess, would apply. You just can't do very good with these. The elastic style works great for children, very small limbs. You just wrap this elastic style tourniquet around that limb and you're going to get better results with that versus something like this. And this is also good for canines as well. So if you got a dog that's been shot, after you've muzzled them to make sure they don't bite you, you can use a tourniquet around a limb, or I'm sorry, an elastic style tourniquet around the limb and stop that bleeding. Cat tourniquet, not likely to have good results with that. So 2 styles of tourniquets in there. I've got some compressed gauze. I've got some more rolled gauze right here. Under here I've got quick clot. I've got a compressed pressure bandage in here. And then there's some more gauze in behind there. So quite a few things to deal with stopping the bleed. I also have in there a nasopharyngeal airway, chest seals, and that's going to deal with the airway respiration components of March. And those are the first things, like I said, that can cause a person to expire very quickly from battlefield type of injuries. So, and another thing that I've done that is a little bit unique is I've taken an old gift card from TGI Fridays and I've wrapped duct tape around it. That way I can have a bunch of duct tape and a small compressed package here to be able to use, because duct tape is way better than just regular medical tape. I did this before people started making small sections of compressed duct tape. From Chinook Medical, Galls.com, I know are a couple places to find this stuff at. You can basically get some very small sections of duct tape that are compressed. It's not like a big round donut of tape. It's just a compressed thing of duct tape. And that's the best way to go about, in my opinion, for duct tape. But buying it like that. If not, you can still do the old school method where you wrap it around an old credit card or old gift card or whatever and have some good duct tape in there to be able to hold things down, because this works good with lots of blood and wetness. Having medical equipment or specialized medical equipment is one part of the solution. The other solution is the training aspect of it. You need to get out there and get that specialized training and know how to utilize this stuff. You can watch videos on how to apply a tourniquet and stuff like that, but that's something that you need to physically do and practice under the watchful eye of a competent instructor. You need to be able to, a good medical class will have you use training tourniquets, or you put them on people. You do it multiple times. You have tourniquets put on you. A good medical class will have you rip open a package of chest seals and put them on someone. A good medical class will have you insert a nasopharyngeal airway into a person. So, get the equipment and then get the training. The reason why I say that is just because you don't have the training in how to utilize this stuff doesn't mean that someone else wouldn't. So this is the kind of stuff that you can get and not have any idea how to use it and keep it in your car. And if something were to happen, you're on the interstate, come across a wreck, whatever, some bad stuff, or someone's been stabbed, shot, whatever, and the threat's gone. You want to be the person to help, and you get there. Well, you may not know how to use this stuff, but someone else may. So this is the kind of stuff that is relatively safe to buy without knowing how to use it, because you can hand it off to someone else who does. But you should definitely be getting good medical training and know how to use this. Seconds matter. When it comes to pre-hospital care, you have what's known as the Platinum 10 and the Golden Hour. If you don't provide quick enough care to someone, they can die. There have been lots of people who have simply just bled to death waiting for people to get there to help them. There are people who have died while someone is sitting there holding their hand and watching them bleed to death because they don't know what to do and they don't have any equipment. That's crappy. I don't like that idea. So get the equipment and get the knowledge. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.